Hi there, Year 11. Just another video for Jasper Jones and the work we're dealing with here. Today, in my class, we talked about the nature of morality and what it means to be a moral creature in our lives. And then we talked about Chapter 2, and it's interesting to note, to follow up on that, that Chapter 2, the two boys get into a conversation about what it means to be a hero, maintaining in this novel again certain anachronisms that seem to be taking place. For instance, there's the word buttload. I don't think in 1965 any Australian would have said such a word. And then on this page we note that they're talking about Doug Walters, who was yet to play Test cricket in 1965, and Muhammad Ali, who in 1965 was known as Cassius X. He had changed to Muhammad Ali that year, but he was going to fight Sonny Liston as Cassius X because he decided to give up the slave name Clay. It's very unlikely that an Australian would have come across the term Muhammad Ali in '65. But anyway, so again, we sort of look at this as a romantic ideal of the perfect way to look at re-examining Australia's past and its racist past from a very modern perspective. It's interesting that they get into a Superman versus Batman argument, which again is anachronistic because Batman in 1965, I don't know if you've ever come across the Adam West TV show, which was in the late 60s, about 67, 66, 67, was really the first time that many people were introduced to Batman. Sure, there was a Batman comic. Superman was well known, but Batman was not considered very popular or a bit of a joke and a bit embarrassing. Hence the TV show was done deliberately silly. But we come to that important line here, and this is the big deal. See, Batman is different. He's mortal. He's got a real life to risk. Superman just has to avoid kryptonite. Big deal. Superman fears nothing because outside a few very specific circumstances where he might encounter some stupid rock, nothing can possibly do him in. Batman has the same vulnerabilities as the rest of us, so he has the same fears as us. That's why he's the most courageous, because he can put those aside and fight on regardless. So I want you to keep considering the idea of this being a novel about courage and about bravery, much like To Kill a Mockingbird. It is an interesting concept, and this conversation about Batman gives us an insight into Charlie's character, how he sees things, and possibly why he makes that moral crusade at this point, reminding ourselves that yes, our stages of moral development mean that he is able to operate at this post-conventional or autonomous or principled level. His loyalty to Jasper rises above a loyalty to criminal law, for instance, or even a loyalty to Jeffrey at this point. He sees himself in that superhero terminology, and he defines it being super, being better than the ordinary, as opposed to having superpowers. A great argument, makes a fantastic argument, which is that Lex Luthor is a supervillain, but he doesn't have superpowers in Superman. So it's an interesting take, and as you read this book, I need you to start thinking about how these characters are behaving in a town that creates a circumstance where they would and should be silent, and their silence, or their refusal to be silent in many ways, or to stay normal, is a reason why Australia moved forward, I suppose. And it's many reasons as to why this novel has those anachronisms. Anyway, just checking in for the evening, and look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.